Okay, so our parents died last year, 6 months apart. Dad first, then Mum. They left us 20 acres of beautiful property. Beautiful. A farmhouse, apple orchard, a small lake, woods, pastures. 40 years of their life, their love, their work. My brother Craig and I inherited it jointly. 50-50, equal shares. Should have been simple. Should have been an opportunity to honour our parents, to keep their legacy alive. But Craig had other plans. Plans that involved dollar signs. Plans that involved liquidation. Plans that involved screwing me over while pretending to help. Craig's 58, retired early from finance, lives in Florida, plays golf, doesn't work, doesn't need money, but he wanted more money. Always wants more. That's how finance guys are. Never satisfied, never enough. So when our parents died and left us this property, this priceless property full of memories and meaning, Craig saw one thing: cash. He called me a week after the estate cleared. Hey, we need to talk about the property. Okay, what about it? I think we should sell it. My stomach dropped. Sell it? Craig, that's Mum and Dad's land, their home, where we grew up, where they're buried. They'd been buried in the small family cemetery on the property, under the oak trees, where they'd wanted to rest. I know, and it's beautiful, which means it's valuable. We could get maybe $800,000 for the whole thing. Split that $400,000 each. That's a lot of money. $400,000 for 40 years of our parents' life, for the place we'd spent every childhood summer, for the legacy they'd built. I don't want to sell. Think about it practically. What are you going to do with 20 acres? You live 3 states away. You can't maintain it. It's just going to sit there costing money, taxes, upkeep, insurance. It's a drain. A drain. He called our parents' life work a drain. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll move there. Maybe I'll rent it out. Maybe I'll just keep it because it's our family's land. He sighed. That condescending finance guys. You're being emotional. This is a business decision. We need to liquidate. Liquidate. Like our parents' life was a failing company. I'm not selling my half, Craig. Fine, then I'll buy you out. What? I'll buy your half. You're 50%. I'll give you, let's say, $200,000. That's generous considering the market. You walk away with cash. I handle the property, problem solved. $200,000 for half of 20 acres worth $800,000. That's $400,000 for my half. He was offering half of what it was worth and calling it generous. That's not a fair price. It's cash, immediate. No hassle, no waiting for a buyer, no splitting costs, just clean, simple money. He wanted me to take $200,000 so he could keep the property worth $800,000 or sell it himself and pocket the full amount. Either way, he'd win, I'd lose. I need to think about it. Don't think too long. I have buyers interested, developers. They want the lake. They pay premium prices. But I need your answer soon. Developers. He was already talking to developers about building on our parents' land, about destroying the orchard, about subdividing the lake, about erasing everything they'd built. I hung up and I made a decision, a strategic decision. If Craig wanted to play games, I'd play, but I'd play smarter. I called a surveyor. I need the property surveyed, all 20 acres. I need to know exactly what's where, topography, water features, soil quality, everything. The surveyor came out, spent 3 days mapping the property, and when he showed me the results, I almost laughed because our parents' 20 acres, it wasn't uniform, it wasn't equal. 10 acres were primish land. The house, the orchard, the lake, beautiful, flat, usable, valuable land. The other 10 acres, swamp, wetlands. Mosquito-infested, soggy, undevelopable swamp. Protected wetlands, actually. Couldn't build on them, couldn't drain them, could barely walk through them without sinking. They were basically worthless, except for wildlife habitat and property taxes. The surveyor pointed it out on the map. This section here, the north side, that's all wetlands. Protected by state and federal law, can't touch it, can't develop it. It's basically a nature preserve you have to pay to own. I stared at that map, at the clear division, 10 acres of value, 10 acres of swamp. And I smiled because I'd just figured out exactly how to handle Craig. Can you draw up a legal property division? Split the 20 acres into two 10-acre parcels? Sure, how do you want them divided? I pointed to the map. This parcel gets the house, orchard and lake. This parcel gets everything else. Everything else, the swamp. He looked at me, understanding dawning. You want to give someone the wetlands? I want to give my brother the wetlands. He wants to liquidate family assets. He can liquidate that. The surveyor grinned, actually grinned. I'll have the documents ready in a week. 1 week later, I had legal documents, survey maps, parcel divisions, proof that the property could be split into two distinct 10-acre lots, one valuable, one not. I called Craig, sweet voice, cooperative voice. Hey, I've been thinking about what you said, about liquidating, about buying me out. I could hear the smugness, the victory. Oh, yeah? You ready to sell? Not exactly, but I have a different proposal. What if we just split the property? You take 10 acres, I take 10 acres. That way we both get what we want. You can sell your half, I can keep mine. Problem solved. Pause, thinking pause. Split it how? 50-50, 10 acres each. I've already had it surveyed, had the parcels legally divided. All you have to do is sign. Which 10 acres would I get? This was the moment, the critical moment. Well, you'd get the northern parcel, I'd take the southern parcel. The surveyor divided it geographically, north and south, fair split. I was lying. It wasn't fair, but he didn't know that. Hadn't seen the property in years, hadn't walked the land, hadn't studied the survey. He just heard 10 acres and assumed they were all equal. And I could sell my parcel immediately. Absolutely, it's yours. Do whatever you want with it. More thinking. What about the house? The orchard? Those are on my parcel, the southern parcel. But you get 10 full acres. And honestly, Craig, raw land sells better than land with old structures. Developers want blank slates. You'll probably get a better price. This was also a lie, but he wanted to believe it, wanted to believe he was getting the better deal, that I was being emotional and keeping the burden of the house while he got the valuable raw land. Okay, let's do it. Send me the papers. I sent them. Overnight, legal property division, survey maps, parcel descriptions. Everything looked official, legitimate, fair. He signed them, had them notarized, sent them back. We filed them with the county, and just like that, the property was divided. 10 acres for him, 10 acres for me. He got parcel A, the northern wetlands. I got parcel B, the house, orchard, lake, and usable land. Legal, binding, done. 2 weeks later, Craig called, excited. Hey, I've got a developer coming to look at my parcel this weekend. Guy's interested in building luxury cabins. Waterfront property. He's talking serious money. Waterfront, right. Swamp front. That's great, Craig. Good luck. You should come up. See the property one last time before I sell. Closure, you know? closure. He wanted me to watch him sell, watch him cash in on what he thought was a brilliant deal. I'll be there. Saturday came. I drove up, met Craig at the property. He was standing at the property line, the southern property line, where my parcel started, where the house and orchard were. Beautiful, isn't it? He said. Mum and Dad really built something special. Built something special on my parcel that he didn't own anymore. It is. Your developer here yet? On his way. I'm meeting him at the northern entrance. Want to come? We drove to the northern entrance, the access road that led to the swamp. Craig looked confused. This doesn't look right. Where's the lake? The lake's on my parcel, the southern parcel. Your parcel is this way. I pointed north, into the trees, into the wetlands. His face changed. What do you mean this way? Your parcel. Parcel A, the northern section. Let me show you. I pulled out the survey map, showed him the clear division. The house, orchard, lake, all on parcel B, my parcel. His parcel, solid green, wetlands designation, swamp. He stared at the map, face going from confused to pale to red. This is swamp. It's wetlands, protected wetlands, beautiful ecosystem, great for wildlife. You can't build on wetlands. I know, it's unfortunate, but you said you wanted to liquidate. So here's your chance. Sell your 10 acres to someone who, I don't know, really loves frogs. He looked at me, really looked at me. And he knew he'd been played, knew I'd tricked him, knew he'd signed away any claim to the valuable land while taking the worthless swamp. You did this on purpose. I divided the property fairly, 10 acres each, just like you wanted. I even offered to buy you out for $200,000. But you wanted to split. You wanted your own parcel. You signed the papers. But you knew this was swamp. I knew the property had variety, some areas more usable than others. But you didn't ask, didn't survey, didn't visit. You just assumed all acres were equal. They're not. They never were. Mum and Dad knew that. I knew that. Now you know that. The developer arrived. Young guy, eager, ready to talk money. Craig tried to salvage it. So, as you can see, this is the property. 10 acres of natural wetlands. The developer looked around at the swamp, at the mosquitoes, at the soggy ground. This is protected wetlands. You can't develop this. I know, but then why did you bring me out here? I build cabins. I need buildable land. This is a swamp. He left, annoyed. Time wasted. Craig stood there in his expensive shoes, sinking slightly into the soggy ground, and I could see it, the exact moment he realised what he'd lost. You kept everything, the house, the orchard, the lake, everything that matters, everything that mattered to Mom and Dad, the things they built, the things they loved, the legacy. You wanted to liquidate it, sell it to developers, erase it for cash. So I made sure you got the only part that can't be developed, the part that can't be sold, the part that's just going to cost you property taxes every year while you try to figure out what to do with 10 acres of swamp. He was shaking, rage, humiliation, defeat. I'll sue. I'll fight this. You'll lose. The documents are legal. The survey is legitimate. You signed. You agreed. There's no fraud, no deception. Just a property division you didn't bother to research before signing. That's on you, Craig. All on you. He left, drove away, angry, broken. I walked back to the house, my house, on my 10 acres of prime, beautiful, USable land where Mom and Dad were buried, where the orchard bloomed every spring, where the lake reflected sunsets, where legacy lived. Craig tried to sell his parcel, listed it for months. No buyers. Who wants 10 acres of protected wetlands? You can't build, can't farm, can't do anything except pay taxes and watch mosquitoes breed. He finally took it off the market, still owns it, still pays the taxes. $3,000 a year for land he can't use, can't sell, can't even visit without boots and bug spray. I heard he bought a canoe to inspect his investment. He lasted 15 minutes before the mosquitoes drove him back to his car. Meanwhile, I moved into the farmhouse, restored it, hired someone to maintain the orchard, stock the lake, care for the land, the way Mum and Dad would have wanted, the way it deserves to be cared for. The legacy lives, not liquidated, not developed, not erased, alive, thriving, protected because I fought for it, smartly, legally, strategically. And Craig has swampland and regret and mosquito bites and a yearly tax bill that reminds him, you don't liquidate family, you honour it or you get the swamp. So, if this story made you read property surveys before signing or made you appreciate protected wetlands, hit like and subscribe because I've got more stories. Stories about siblings who tried to steal inheritances, stories about finance guys who underestimated family, stories about property divisions that went perfectly wrong for the greedy brother. Spoiler alert, always read the survey, always visit the land, always understand what you're signing, because if you don't, you might end up with 10 acres of swamp and a sister who's laughing from her beautiful farmhouse on the good 10 acres. Craig wanted to liquidate family assets, so I liquidated his dreams, his plans, his greed, gave him exactly what he deserved, nothing of value, everything of burden. 10 acres he can't use, can't sell, can't escape, while I kept everything that mattered, the house, the orchard, the lake, the memories, the legacy. Mum and Dad would be proud of me, not of him, never of him. He chose cash over family, chose liquidation over legacy, and he got exactly what he deserved. Swampland forever, with a side of mosquitoes and regret. So much regret.